This conference will now be recorded.
So here my today's agenda is to first discuss if you have any question from the area of investment management, and then we'll go through the appropriation request settings. Okay, so we gone through with the different scenarios to cover the appropriation request, and we understand how to execute the transactions. Okay, and one business case also we have gone through. Okay, so today we will understand some more detail about the planning. Okay, planning profile and budget profile. Okay, and the use of status profile. Okay, and then further we'll start project system today. Okay, so I'll just go through with one overview of project system, that what is the basic functionality of project system, and then we'll proceed further. So if you have any question, please let me know. First, let us discuss that in detail, and then we'll proceed further for appropriation request settings.
Yeah, I think maybe sir you discussed yesterday, but I missed that. I joined yesterday later. No, one query I have.
Okay.
Yeah, that approver list. Is there any limit? How many approvers for appropriation requests to be maintained, or
It
it's
is prescribed to keep till 5 level. Okay, but there is no limit. You can maintain it and numbers of approvals.
okay, okay. And that name should be there in sync with HR or something in other module, or
See, conceptually how it is. See, there is a HR system. Okay, in HR we are having HR master. Okay, HR master. We are calling it the EM master, EMP master also, employee master. Okay, transaction is PA30. Okay, here we are maintaining HR master data. Okay, so in this HR master data, we are having something called info type. Okay, so there is one specific info type where we can maintain SAP user ID within it.
okay.
Okay, we can maintain SAP user ID within it. So here, when we are going to select that approver, we are selecting employee ID. Okay, we are going to select employee ID, and here in employee master itself we can enter the SAP user ID. We can keep email ID also. So whenever we are triggering, when we are setting status for approval, so we can arrange to send a workflow to the approver based on this email. Okay, we can send a mail also, or we can just arrange to send a work item. Okay, this work item will appear in his inbox. Okay, where in a SAP Fury, and then he can approve or reject it. So this process we can follow, and here it is going to validate with user ID. These all settings will be done by HR consultant. You as a IM consultant or PS consultant, you need to understand how many levels you are keeping in approvers. Okay, and how you are proceeding further to design the workflow. So workflow design has to be done from our side. Okay, and that is purely enhancement. Okay, it's not available in the standard.
Okay, okay, sir.
Clear?
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you.
So here when we are creating appropriation request, okay, what is the profile which we are selecting there? Any idea? That is appropriation request type. Okay, this is the main profile. Within this profile, we are going to mention that whether we are going to take it to project system or to internal order. Okay, that I have explained in my previous session. There we are having three options. That first option is for PS project, second option is for internal order, and third option is as per number range which we are keeping business requirement. Okay, apart from that, there is a profile, planning profile. Planning profile is there. Okay, and apart from that, you will see revenue profile and status profile. Okay, these three profile we have to create it separately and need to assign to appropriation request type. This is the basic setting of appropriation request. Okay, so let us see how we can define all these values in the system. Apart from that, we are having some table maintenance. There's some list of fields where we are selecting the values like investment type and all. Okay, so let me just go through a configuration. Go to SPRO here. Okay, go to investment management. Investment management and here go to appropriation request and go to master data. We have already gone through with the control data. Okay, control data where we have maintain appropriation request type. Okay, so here we were checking the settings of project as investment measure. Okay, so we have selected this and here you can see cost planning profile, you can see revenue planning profile, status profile. These are the three main profile which we need to create separately and need to assign it here to appropriation request type. So let us create this profile and then or we will see the available settings. Okay, it is simple as we have discussed already in the investment program. It is similar. So let us go to the planning. Here in the planning, go to the cost planning and here define planning profile for cost planning. So once you are coming here, this is the planning profile description. This is the code. There's a total value. If you want to include the overall value in the planning in appropriation request variant, in that case, you need to select the total value, annual value, if you want to consider annual value in your settings. Then past, how many years in the past you want to start this planning, and future, how many years in the future. Okay, this is decimal places, scaling factor. The same things I have explained in my investment management planning. Okay, all the fields are similar. Only the costing variant PIM1, it is for unit costing, which is standard for appropriation request. Okay, similarly, when we are looking into uh, okay, so after creating this planning profile, we need to assign it to the appropriation request type. Either you can assign it here in this maintain appropriation request type, this node, or go to assign appropriation request type. Here you directly assign this cost planning profile to appropriation request type. So that is the same settings only. Okay. Next, we are defining revenue planning. Okay, here define planning profile for revenue planning. This is also similar. Okay, just annual values. Okay, past, futures or start. Okay, so here when we are doing the revenue planning, always it will be annual values planning only. We don't have any option to plan it overall. Okay, so just remember it. Sometimes this may be asked in the interview. Okay, interview or certification, this kind of question comes. Okay, assign appropriation request type to plan to the planning profile. Okay, so here we are assigning revenue planning profile to appropriation request type profile. Okay, that's it. So these are the basic settings. Now let me go through with the all the table maintenance. Okay, so one by one. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so let us discuss this first. Okay, this is my appropriation request. Okay, here I can see master data. Go to the control data. Okay, here you will see allowed values for certain master data field. So here you will see all the nodes to maintain the table. Define reason for investment. Okay, here you can define the reason for investment. So whatever you are maintaining, these values will be available there in appropriation request for selection. Okay, so reason for investment, any like this may be like you are aligning this proposal with your uh, that is a part of strategic objectives, or this is a part of some deliverable. So you can define the reason why you are doing this investment. Define environmental protection indicator. Okay, so that is all the same similar. Okay, and then again define scales. So you can define your scale here in standard. These are the three scales are given, that is small, capital, medium sized, or large scale. But you can mention that from which range, or from, let's say, if less than, it is a less than 100,000 of 100,000 USD, less than 100,000 USD investment, then I'll consider it's a small capital investment. And if it is in between of 100,000 and 1 million, that is a medium. And if it is a more than 1 million, then we are considering it's a large scale capital investment. Okay. Similar, define priorities and define scores. Okay, so this is just table maintenance here. Apart from that, in control data, there is an important settings here, define screen layout for appropriation requests. So when we are navigating, okay, when we are navigating the appropriation request, any idea what is the transaction code to navigate into appropriation request?
IMA 11.
IMA 11. So IMA 11. So here when I am opening this appropriation request, okay, many fields you can see here. Okay, some of fields are relevant for us and some of fields are not relevant. So as per business requirement, we need to hide those fields which are not relevant as per my business requirement. Sometimes they may ask to keep some field as mandatory. So let's say if you see in the standard system, reason for investment, it's not mandatory. But as per business, they may ask to make it as a mandatory. Okay, or sometimes they may ask to keep a field highlighted so that this will be shown on the screen that this need to be entered, or some information if it is there that they need to read it accordingly. So here the settings how we need to do, this is the node. Okay, this kind of requirement you can get in many fields and transactions in SAP. Okay, here in IM, PS, everywhere. Okay, so this is a common kind of approach how we are managing the screens and tabs on a particular transaction or in the master data. Okay, so here especially when we are coming for this appropriation request, you click here, you will see influencing. So if you are influencing means with reference to what you are going to do these settings. Okay, so influencing, when we are saying influencing, system will give you these all options. Influencing field means with reference to which field you are going to do these settings. For example, you can do based on the appropriation request type, you can keep it based on the controlling area, priority, requesting company code, requesting company case, and transaction group. This is standard. Okay, so this means if you are doing this setting for controlling area influencing, this means whatever the appropriation request type you are creating within that controlling area, okay, where this controlling area is going to assign to appropriation request, in that case these field will be influenced. Influenced means you can make a field mandatory, or you can make it highlighted, or you can hide it. Okay, you can make mandatory, you can highlight it, or you can hide it based on some parameters. In my scenario, I am saying when I'm saying appropriation request, I will go with the appropriation request type. So here I'm using appropriation request type 2. Based on that, I just want to make this selection. So I have select this content, that is 2. Now I can make these fields. Required means mandatory, display means display on the screens where user will not be able to enter any value. Okay, and hide means it will be hidden on the screen, and then highlighted, HILI means highlighted, this particular field will be highlighted. For example, in my appropriation request, okay, let's say this approval here, I would like to make it as a mandatory. So if you see here, let me show you this field first, approval here. Okay, approval year 2025, if I'm removing it, okay, still I can process. Okay, means I'm able to see, but I would like to make it mandatory. Without entering the data, system should not proceed. Make it mandatory here, this field, come here. Okay, this is a approval here. Okay, and sometimes you may have confusion whether which approval year we are talking. Maybe like approval year can be in the different tabs in the same object. So here this is the technical name, IMAK GJAHR. Okay, so there are two ways to check this technical field. You can directly check in the table. Okay, so this IMAK is the table name, IMAV is the table name, IMAK is the table name, ANIA. So the first this the code is for table, and the next code after this dash, that is a field name. So let's say if you want to see this detail in table, uh, there is a specific transaction to navigate to table, that is a SE16N. Okay, we'll discuss the table and all. Okay, just it because it's demand as of now to explain it, otherwise I would explain it later. 1 second. So here IMAK, this is my table. Okay, you can see this is my table. Within this table, this is my field GJAHR. Control C. Let me search if this field is there. So approval here. So this means I'm talking about this field. Okay, I'm talking about this field. So you can check in the table, or let's say sometimes you may have the description same for the multiple field. Okay, let's say approval year is here on this tab, for example, and approval year also given here. Okay, for example, I'm just saying. Okay, so in that case, this may be a confusion that which field we are talking, whether this field is going to be highlighted, or this field is going to be influenced, or that other field will be the influenced. Okay, so how you can check, you just click here cursor on this. Okay, and press F1. Once you will, sorry, 1 second, you just keep cursor here and then press F1. Once you will press F1, this pop-up will open. Okay, you just click here on this technical information. You can see table name IMAK, field name GJAHR. So this means I'm talking about this field. This is the same field which is given here in this setting. Okay, so approval here I would like to make it as a required, so you just select it required. Okay, similarly, let's say company code, I would like to make it required. Okay, let me see some other fields, for example, uh, okay, name. Sometimes people are not entering the name and then they may save it. So to avoid that issue, we can just make it as a mandatory. Similarly, let's say this environment investment, I just want to hide it because it's not okay. And then along with that approval here, along with that required, I would like to make it as highlighted. Let me see this how it is influencing. Save it. Okay, let us see, let us test it. Come out. So now we are going to test whatever we have done the settings, how it looks like here. Double click here. Okay, go to change. Now you can see approval here is highlighted here. Okay, and along with that, this become mandatory field. Okay, without entering the value, system will not allow to proceed further. System is asking make an entry in mandatory field approval here. So 2025. Okay, so this we are calling field selection. Okay, sometimes into, and like question can be asked in different way, that I would like to hide some of fields from the screen, and I would like to make some of fields mandatory. Like this way this question can be put on, or the interviewer can ask, okay, what is the field selection functionality? Okay, just explain it. The next is a specified tab layout for appropriation request. So you can manage the tabs. Okay, here SAP standard tab layout, but it is not suggested. Okay, it is suggested not to do any changes here in the standard settings. Okay, don't touch anything, otherwise this may create another issue until unless you are not from that what are the impact of different settings in your process of appropriation request. So here SAP, if you see tab page title, so these are the titles. Okay, if you want to add any field or you want to remove any field, you can make the changes. But what will happen if you are remove, because all fields are having some, all tabs are having some mandatory fields. So if you are removing any tab from here, okay, this may create a issue. Only one tab I can see, user field, which is not having any mandatory. Okay, let me, if I'm removing it, okay, if I'm removing it, okay, just let me see. Okay, new tab layout SAP is not allowed to be changed, create or delete. Okay, so it's not allowed, it's just for information purpose. So let's say if you want to go to general data, position groups. So what we need to do here, if this is the option given when you are looking to make the changes, you need to copy this and need to create it as per your requirement. Okay, that's it. Otherwise, it's suggested go with the provided fields and tabs only. Okay, now enhancement. These are the some bodies. Develop enhancement for tab layout. Develop enhancement. We will discuss these all things. Okay, what is the body and all. So let me proceed further. Go to the approval. Okay. So here next is approvals. Define approval levels for appropriation request. Okay. Here is a place where you can define the approval level. This is a request type. Okay. Request project as request approver. So here you can define the approvers. Workflow approval levels here. Okay. So multiple levels you can assign here. Approval level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like this way. Okay. Approval functions. So first you need to create a functions and all. So this functionality, because it's too early to explain, I need to explain the concept of master, concept of partner function. So that will focus in project system. Okay, I'm just skipping from here. Okay, so any question here?
Rahul, yeah, I have a question. This IAM module is also on the Fury.
Okay, see, technically understand what is the difference. What Fury, like how, what exactly you mean the Fury?
Fury means all those what you are saying,
Okay,
appropriation request and all those things.
I'll show you.
Can we have an app on?
I'll show you here. So this is a UI to FLP through which we can access the Fury application. Okay, you come here. Okay, I will log in here. Okay, so now if I want to access IM transaction, okay, how I can access? I can find here. Okay, I can find here. I can ask my Fury consultant to add here this category. Okay, this group can be added here. Okay, then pages, we can ask him to add the pages and then application. Okay, let me add this application directly here. How to add? You come here, go to app finder. Okay, once you are coming here, go to SAP menu. Okay, here in SAP menu you say IM A11. So this is individual processing for appropriation request. So let me add into my home. Okay, this is already added in my home. Let me see where it is given individual processing. This is the IMA 11 transaction. Okay, so you click here, it will take you to the same transaction. Okay, but the difference here, I'll tell you what is the difference when you are saying Fury. Okay, this is a Fury application. It is showing the Fury, but in backend it is a HTML transaction. Okay, start GUI, it is going to be pick as a HTML. Okay, so if you want to create here, you can create like this. This is the application. So IM, like in this way, IM is also there in the Fury application. Clear?
Yeah, that's HTML. So my question was, like, do we have a if you talk about the public cloud, so all these available as an app, as
Yeah,
in
this is
public
there.
cloud?
Yeah, this is there. This is not public cloud. I'm not sure, but on premises and private cloud, it is there.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's move to project system. If you don't have any question, we can move to the project system. Okay. So now we understand that when we are approving appropriation request here, okay, and then it is going to replicate as a project in project system here. Okay, you go to user field. Sorry, measures and assets. Okay, before that, let me okay, user field. I'll explain the project system only because it is a similar concept, and here I don't have much data to show you. Okay, let us discuss this concept there on. So here your proposal is submitted, that is approved, and now this same appropriation request is replicated as a project into project system. Now we are going to manage this project into project system. Okay, so here this is the project I.0002. Let me just go to the transaction CJ20. So this is the project builder. Okay, this transaction we are calling project builder. Okay, this transaction is a enjoy transaction where create, change and display we can manage within the same transaction. It is similar to IM11, right? In backend, many transaction is being executed to manage different functionalities in this transaction. Like when we are creating a project, different transaction is being executed. When we are creating WBS element, there is a separate transaction, network activities. So whatever the objects you are creating here, different transaction is being executed in background. Okay, so here you can see your project. Okay, this was replicated here, or if you can directly open it here also in the project builder. Okay, so let us understand this transaction first. Okay, so here it is having three sections. Okay, one is the project structure here. Okay, you will get project structure. Okay, and here you will get work list and template. Okay, this is a work list area. So whatever the projects you are navigating, your last 20 project, maximum 20 project you can list here. So when you are navigating, automatically it will be listed here. Okay, directly you can click here to open that project. So here once you are clicking, the project structure will open. Let's say if you are clicking here, the project structure will open, and the right side the detail of that object will be displayed. For example, this is one object. You click here, detail is here. When you click here, detail is here. Once click here, detail is here. Similar like how we are managing in Outlook. Okay, left side you are clicking there on mail, and right side you can see the detail mail. Okay, so here these are the different objects. You can see in this project, this is a different object. You can see this is a different icon, and here is a different icon. This TV like yellow icon, we are calling it is a project definition, which is an umbrella of all the object under this project. Okay, so whatever the objects you are going to create under this project, that has to be under the project definition only. Okay, for example, if you are creating a WBS element, network, milestone, if you are attaching any document, so that is going to combine, that is going to be included under this umbrella only, under this particular project definition. Okay, we'll see there is some technical differences also, but just to understand, primarily it is giving a roof of all the objects and transaction within my project. Okay, so right side you can see the detail. This is a project definition, this is a project code. Okay, so when you are having many project, a particular project will be identified with code. So this is the code, and this is the description of your project. Here you can see the multiple tabs. Okay, which is having different information in the form of fields. Okay, like if you click here on the basic data, you can see status, system status, user status. The concept of status is seen everywhere, either it is in the investment management or appropriation request or in the project. Here is the coding mask based on which this number is going to be, who is the responsible person, like manager, applicant number, who is applying for this project, start date, end date, factory calendar. Every country is having its own factory calendar. So in India, it's 5 days in a week. Okay, let's say Saturday, Sunday is holiday. That is other thing that people are not getting 2 days holiday. Okay, but at least in factory calendar, it is 5 days work. Okay, and in Middle East, if you see in the KSA, Saudi Arabia, it's Friday and Saturday is holiday. So it has to be defined in the factory calendar on which day will be working. So specific countries having specific factory calendar. Okay, time unit, which unit we are going to use for the scheduling. This is the forecast start date and forecast finish date. This is the organization structure. So here in the project system, we don't have any organization structure data. Okay, this we are taking from other modules. Okay, controlling area we have taken from CO, company code we have taken from FI's, business area from FI, plant is from material management, location is from material management, functional area is from fund management, profit center is from profit center accounting, that is a controlling, and project currency is from CO. Okay, so all this organization structure we are getting from different modules. Okay, then we are having further tabs like control. Here we can see all the profiles which have been assigned to the project. Okay, budget profile, planning profile, interest profile, investment profile, result analysis. So all these are the profile which have been created in the configuration and already have been assigned to project profile. So this project profile is the primary profile which has to be available in the configuration to create the project. Okay, so this particular profile is having specific functionalities. There's the administration data, long text, short text, collective PR, and user field. You will see all these tabs and fields as and when we are proceeding further with the business process. Coming to here, whenever we are executing any project, whatever we are having deliverables, okay, that has to be defined somewhere. So just to understand primarily, that is my WBS, work breakdown structure. Okay, work breakdown structure. Or when you are executing any work, you can just break that work in a different task. So here WBS element is nothing, it's just task for me which we are going to execute to achieve my project goals. Okay, when I'm saying construction of my house, so construction of my house, first I need to buy land parcel or land plot. Okay, then I need to buy material, and I need to procure the services. So all these different activities I am performing to achieve my project goal, which is construction of my house. Okay, so same way we need to structure in this form. We will go in more detail, more deep to understand, but just I need to start project system. What is the project system? What is the functionality of different objects to understand it here? Okay, so just a second, let me open my one PPT. Okay. Okay, so we understand here the concept of EPPM, Enterprise Portfolio and Project Management. Okay, within that we are having three major modules. One is the project system, then portfolio and project management, that is the PPM, then CPM, commercial project management. As a part of this course, we are covering project system along with that investment management. So investment management, we cover the major part, okay, the basic functionalities which is mandatory to understand the capital kind of project. Okay, or it will help us to understand how to control the budget in my project based on programs. Okay, let's say at program level, if I want to control my budget, that how to manage, how to distribute, how to control that budget in my different projects. Okay, so here now we move to project system. Okay, project system, when we are going to understand, let us see, let us understand first one simple process flow. Okay, project life cycle. So typically in any project we are having 5 phases. Okay, any project, whether it is a construction project, R&D project, okay, utility project, anything, this is a generic phases. First is the initiation, then planning, then execution. So let's say when we are talking about capital project, okay, capital project. So when we are initiating a project, yeah, right, proposal, or where we are doing the pre-investment analysis, and then once it is confirmed, then this concept or this proposal or this idea or appropriation request will be moved to project, and we are going to initiate this project now. So in initiation, okay, what we need to do, like initial planning. Okay, initial planning means like your rough cut, you already approved some budget, but now we need to do some rough cut planning. Okay, we need to do some rough cut planning, or some activities we need to perform here in the initiation phase, like deployment of project manager. Okay, so project manager is going to deploy the resources further. He is going to do that cost planning, revenue planning. He's going to manage all these things, project plan, everything is going to be, everything is going to manage. Okay, so here typically if I see, so here I've taken an example of customer project. Okay, in customer project where customer is there, this is the externally financed project. Okay, so just consider that scenario. Okay, when we are going to initiate a project. Okay, so what activity can be there? Okay, like request for proposal, idea for or proposal. So in that case some idea can be there in the case of capital project, but in customer project, request for proposal, you may get a request for proposal request from your client. Okay, from your customer. Based on that you are going to prepare the estimation. Okay, and then based on the requirement of client you are going to define the quantity basis. Okay, that this is the quantity which I need to deliver. Then define scope, need to be defined what is going to be delivered, what is the specification of all these deliverables. For example, we are the transformer manufacturing company and we got a order of 10 transformer to manufacture. Specific specification is given. Okay, accordingly we need to finalize everything. The next is a quote. So whatever the specification we receive, we need to prepare estimation uh, as per the market. Okay, and then we need to quote it, and then we need to plan, replan, and requote. So in any case, we are getting any query from the client that we need to include some additional things along with that, whatever is given in the specification, that need to be considered, and then we need to again submit a next new quotation, that is a requote. So here in initiation, once it is done, then all awarding of contract will be completed, and then we are going for the detailed planning. Okay, in detailed planning we will do the cost planning, we'll do the revenue planning, we'll do the resource planning, material planning. Okay, service planning. So here these all things come in the procurement planning, that is a material planning and resource planning, sorry, material planning and service planning. Resource allocation, where we are going to do the resource planning. Order processing, if you are going to procure some services. Okay, and then you need to process it. Okay, in planning phase it's too early, sometimes we are asking for some consulting. Okay, for example, if project is very specific, for that you don't have expertise. Okay, for example, we are the company and constructing like good, like very huge buildings, we are constructing a dam, we are constructing some let's say bridges. Okay, and roads, and suddenly we got a uh, order to construct a nuclear reactor. Okay, this is very specific scenario. So in that case we may not have expertise to deliver a nuclear reactor, but we just need to, we want to enter in that area also. So we may get a help of from other consultants. In that case we need to do the order processing, we need to hire someone. So consultant subcontract we need to do. Okay, some consultancy we may require from some experts like Siemens or some experts who are expert in construction, nuclear reactor construction. Then we are doing scheduling and detailed planning. Okay, then once all it is done and then approved, then we are going to perform, we are going to execute this project. Material will reach on the site, it is going to be executed, activity is going to be confirmed, periodic activities is going to be happen, and if it is a any assembly need to be done, that will also be done. And once your project is ready, then it is going to hand it over to the client. Before that it has to be inspect, everything need to be like run. For example, in case of reactor, once it is ready, then the commissioning will be happen. Okay, this will be checked and some cold commissioning, and after that all testing will happen, hot commissioning testing. Okay, then everything is done, then we need to prepare a snag list. Okay, that both the party has to work on the snag list. Okay, and then we need to find the approach to just rectify this snag list within that particular period. So we are having taking over certificate. Okay, that we need to provide a certificate to the contractor that yes, we are as a client it is going to be taken over. Okay, and then sometimes we are having defect liability also, like in certain periods and support need to be provided. Okay, Okay, so this is a typical project life cycle. Defect liability is nothing, it's just a support period. Let's say if it is a IT project, okay, when we are going any implementation, if it is a 1 year project, 1 year plus 2 months. So 2 months is a hypercare, 2 months is a defect liability period where all the defects which was there till last till go live of that project, that need to be considered to rectify, or whatever we have received within the 2 month after go live also, that need to be rectified and say to close the project. So project will be closed once all the snags or all the defects will be rectified within the hypercare period also. Any question from this slide, please?
Yeah, I have a question, Rama sir.
Yeah.
So, like that, right now we are discussing about a project life cycle, and what would be the point of view? Suppose I am a SAP consultant, or we are a team. We are going for implementation of project system
Uh-huh.
at a client, and he's explaining all those things, whatever you explained just now,
Mhm.
and then how to do all those things that they need this much of a structure. We need to do also WBS networking, so we need to understand their business completely, or their whatever their requirement completely, correct? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. See, actually, so if to understand their requirement, we supposed to know the functionality, right? Standard functionality and then extended functionality. What is the scope to enhance this solution? Then only we can put the relevant question, right? When I'm discussing the requirement, let's say, see, that is a different life cycle. When we are implementing SAP, we are following either ASAP methodology or agile methodology. Okay, if it is a ASAP methodology or waterfall model, in that case the first phase is requirement collection, requirement gathering. The next is a BBP, business blueprint preparation, then realization, then final preparation, and then go live. Okay, so these are the five phases which we are following to implement SAP. So when we are in the phase of requirement collection, we are understanding the client's requirement, their business, how they are running their business. So once you understand how the business is going to be run, you will understand their pain points. Okay, because SAP they are implementing because of some reason, right? They are not just implementing, okay, this is very good ERP, let's implement it and we will get something, some brand value. That is other part, but it's not like that. They just they are looking to get some help to run their business, right? So in that case, we need to understand their business, we need to understand their pain points. Okay, accordingly we need to understand how we can map their business into existing functionality, available functionality in SAP. Okay, and how we'll understand? Until unless we don't know the standard functionality, we don't know the extended solution which can be add on, which can be enhanced in the standard system. Okay, until unless we are not studying, we are not, if we are not aware about that, we'll not be able to discuss this the requirement also. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm the consultant, and when I'm discussing the project, okay, what is the project in your organization? So let me understand. First they will explain, okay, we are, let's say if it is a construction company, they will say we are having different type of projects, we are having residential project, we are having commercial project. Okay, sometimes we are having internal project where we are executing, where we are constructing some buildings for internal, that we are executing some let's say electrification project also. So now you will understand, okay, they are having different types of projects. Okay, so then you will understand, okay, are you in within the construction itself you are having some further different type of projects? Yes, yes, they are having, let's say, residential and commercial, and the process steps are also different. So you will come to know, you will conclude, yes, I need to create a separate profile for residential and for commercial. How then you conclude something, right? Is it relevant?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so try to understand the basic business process, okay, and then pain points, and then the relevant functionalities which is given in the SAP. Okay, then it is easy to map, and your approach should be simple, not complicated. Let's say sometimes you know many things, okay, which is not relevant for the business, okay. But okay, you think, okay, if we are implementing, then definitely they will be benefited for that. But whatever you are going to implement, that's supposed to be accepted by business also, okay. And this should be easily executable also, okay. It is not like something in place of one transaction you have given some 10 transaction, okay, and people are struggling to maintain the data in the system, then it will not give any benefit, okay. So it should be simple. Try to just keep in the standard. If it is not there, then only go for the enhancement, okay. And simple and easy. This is my approach which I'm following since long time.
Yes, sir. One query I have, sir. Can I ask right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so many times they ask no to means this is actually business part, but they ask what should be the WBA structure and how that WBA should be created. So it is depend upon their business line functions and for example, for investment project, depend if the asset base structure is there like that we have to suggest or how to suggest that
See, this is
what.
this is this is a little early to discuss now because we have not gone through with the functionality of WBS element. Okay, but
Okay,
quickly let me answer it. Okay, for example, just keep aside your scenarios. Okay, for example, if you want to construct your own house,
yeah.
okay, how you will list all the activities based on the deliverables or based on the activity which you are performing. Okay, there can be different way, right?
Yeah,
Let's say you are saying construction of house, okay, and within your house, let's say you can segregate building construction, okay, and along with that building construction, you may require to construct one road from main road to your home, right? Link
yeah,
road construction. Now within building construction, again you can segregate as per your convenient, okay. Apart from convenient, this supposed to be easy to handle, means somewhere tangible you can confirm, yes, this is the this thing we have done, okay, which you can get it in the report. So their main purpose, the higher management is looking for the report. They are looking for, like, what was my plan, what is my actual, what is my forecast, right? So that should be somewhere you can easily achieve that data, okay. Based on that, your WBS structure is supposed to be ready. We'll go in detail to understand all this, okay. There are different parameters. Based on that, you can propose to the business, okay.
okay,
So they
okay,
can, you can understand based on the required reporting, okay. There is many different ways or consideration which you can keep, which you need to keep to define this WBS structure,
okay, okay.
okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
let me go through again. We have gone through with this, and now PS, okay. PS specifically, this module is integrated with all AP core modules. So here it is integrated with IM, investment management. It is integrated with FICO, material management, sales and distribution to manage your sales, plant maintenance to manage your maintenance activities, MSP and Primavera, Oracle third party integration, DMS, document management system, REFX, flexible real estate management, which this module we are using for lease in and lease out, PP production planning, CPM is commercial project management, which we are using for customer project, portfolio project management, which we are using for internal projects. Okay, this is one structure I have given. This is just for idea. Okay, so here your project definition is here, then next level of WBS, then further level of WBS element. So here, if you see, we are going to do installation of one substation. This is one example I have taken. Okay, 6611 kV substation which we need to install. So to install it, these are some of activities, okay. Design and engineering we need to do, procurement of material, erection and civil, these are the activities. And further, labor, material, labor and services, then further we have defined based on next level of activities, okay. So here, till what level we can break that particular task, that we need to understand it here. It is depend on the reporting or control, till what level they need a control. Here in the project, we are having master data. That is the first is project definition, that WBS element, then network and activities. So the work breakdown structure is a model of the project that organize project task into hierarchy. So here we are going to define, we are going to segregate the task into hierarchy. It is the functional basis for further planning steps in the project. So all the planning will be based on the WBS element. For process planning, for cost planning, for revenue planning, for scheduling, for capacity, for resource planning, WBS element is going to be basis. Okay. Here are the major functionality of WBS element. Okay, we can do the cost planning, we can do revenue planning, we can do the budget planning. Dates, in the terms of dates, we are having functionality to maintain basic dates, we can schedule dates, we can enter actual date. Schedule dates means like based on some activities duration. Okay, what will be the scheduling, what will be the start date and end date of that WBS element. That is the schedule dates, and actual dates when it is going to be confirmed. Actually we are going to work on that WBS element. Then budget, we are having original budget, we are having budget supplement transfer, like how we did in IM. Release budget and availability control, that is the additional which we have not in IM, we don't have in the IM. Commitment, we can create a purchase requisition, purchase order. Execution, actual cost we can confirm, and then further we can have settlement. So we'll go one by one in the same process steps to understand the project system. Okay. So here I'm closing. In next session, again, I'll start from this slide only, explaining the project and then WBS element, then network, and then activities. Okay, some idea I'll give, and then we'll go to understand. We'll take one business case. Okay, this is my business case, business process steps. Okay, I'll make it big. Okay, so exactly we'll move like this so that you can easily understand. Okay, this is my investment program, and further appropriation request is created, and then how project is created, then next how it is going to take it forward for planning, execution, and handover. Okay, so these are the major transactions which we need to perform to understand complete business process. Okay, I'll give you the Excel file of the same. Okay, this may be already included there in that your provided documents. Okay, so I'm closing
Do
for
we have
today. If
class
you don't have
tomorrow,
any
sir?
question,
Do we have class
tomorrow
tomorrow
will not
then?
have.